When it comes to the Veve app, there are so many opportunities every single day, especially with the market being as crazy as we've been seeing it recently. I know a lot of us have seen some incredible gains we have probably never seen before in our entire lives. And just about every single collectible is up a bunch over the last couple weeks, or it's probably at an all-time high right now. You know, for a lot of us who have been in Veve for a while, we're sitting pretty, we're enjoying seeing our collection go up by the thousands every single day. But there are some of us who maybe didn't have the chance to capitalize, or some of us who want to capitalize more. And like I said, there are so many opportunities, you gotta look where no one else is looking. And this video is all about finding that next big opportunity so you can be the one who loaded up beforehand and you can watch it run up, all while you can just sit back with your bags packed and you are sitting pretty good to go. So just about every single collectible on the Veve app is skyrocketing. And when everything is skyrocketing, chances are you're probably going to want to look somewhere else. This is of course not financial advice and will never be financial advice, but I have a solution, I have an option that is kind of hidden in plain sight. And when I say it, it'll seem extremely obvious, but I still believe that this is where a lot of people are not looking. And I'm extremely surprised, especially with the big news that just came out, and I'll explain all of it right now. So where I feel like no one is really looking, or very few people considering what it is the Omi token. I tried to warn you guys, I know that was gonna sound very obvious, but hear me out. We now have a date for the migration to Immutable X, and unless something changes before this video comes out, we are set to migrate on January 27th, 2022. Now that is right around the corner, so time is of the essence. I think a lot of people, and especially people with a lot of money, are finally waking up to the opportunity that is Veve. I think they're either just waking up, or I think they were holding out for as long as they could before it switched over to Ethereum or before MTL came out. But I think what could be happening is a lot of whales are wanting to get in before it goes to Ethereum, because they know other whales like them will just scoop everything up immediately. So they're trying to get just a bit ahead of the curve. They've been holding out for a while, but now that they know the migration is just weeks away, they are trying to get their foot in the door as quickly as possible before it really blows up on Ethereum. And I'm sure there are other factors, but that's what makes sense to me. And if I was a whale, that's exactly what I would be doing. I would not wait until it gets to the masses. I would try to get my foot in the door just before the herd comes in, and we've been seeing prices going crazy. So if that is true, and if the trend continues, what do you think is gonna happen right before Omi migrates to Ethereum? Now, of course, we'll see a huge run up, we'll see a huge price increase when it happens, when the migration happens. But I believe that people are gonna wanna get that early jump on the Omi token, and they're gonna be buying it up off these small exchanges. Liquidity is already so low, it's really easy to move these markets. And we've already seen people such as Dr. Profit pump up the price single-handedly on just one random morning. Keep in mind that with the migration comes interoperability, comes the exchanges, and a lot of people know this, and a lot of people with a lot of money know this, and they are not going to wait for the masses to come in. So although the Omi token has seen an increase in price recently, I still believe that it is nowhere near the value that it should be, especially considering the migration news. This is the highest that we've seen the price in a while, but is not even anywhere near the all-time high that we saw 6 or 7 months ago. So we are still almost down 50% from the all-time high that Omi has already seen. And in that time frame, pretty much nothing has changed in terms of exchanges or accessibility or anything like that. If anything, there's been more positive news coming out about Veve and Ecomi, which are directly linked. So you would think that it would keep going up just off the news alone, but without the liquidity, without the accessibility, it's been staying pretty stagnant. But that's all about to change, guys. If you guys are enjoying the content, I would really appreciate a like, comment, subscription. Whatever you decide to do really helps for the algorithm and for getting this video out to more people in the Veve and Ecomi community. I really see Omi as a safe bet if you believe in the overall team, the overall vision, the overall long-term project, because Omi powers the Veve app. Veve needs Omi. Omi doesn't necessarily need Veve. And as Veve CEO David Yu has mentioned before, and I actually did a video covering this, he said that Omi has been in talks with third-party NFT and crypto projects to try to get the Omi token to run their apps. So not only does Omi power the Veve app, it is also going to likely power various other NFT and crypto projects throughout the space. So how I kind of visualize it is that Ecomi is like the S&P 500. It really will kind of move as the overall industry, as the overall market moves. And then I see Veve collectibles as more individual low cap stocks that have a lot more risk but a lot more reward, especially in the short term. And we have definitely seen that play out in the last few weeks. If you put almost any money into Omi as opposed to Veve Collectibles over the last month or so, you probably most likely would have been a lot better off putting your money into collectibles. But now that the Veve Collectibles are having their time in the spotlight and they are just going through the roof, now this is where we shift our attention to where no one's looking, which is the Omi token. And this is where we accumulate, this is where we stock up, this is where we make our moves, and then we sit back when the train takes off, when the train leaves the station, just knowing that we got in before the masses. So here's a look at Omi over the last 3 months, and as you can see, it's had a pretty big run up over the last few days and weeks, mainly because of the news about the migration happening. But if you think about it, it's still under 0.008, still well under a cent, and like I mentioned, still well below its all-time high. So looking at the all-time graph, way back in March, it got all the way up to about 0.012, 0.013, around there. So when you consider it being at 0.008 at the moment, it still is not that high up. And then going back to the 3-month here, as you can see, back in November, it was at a similar price. It's actually a bit higher than it is now. So again, a couple months ago was even higher than it is today, with the news of the migration happening right around the corner. Like I said, I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Omi token, and all the focus, or a lot of the focus, is on the Veve app right now. And with all the delays, the pushbacks, I'm sure that in the background they've been using this time wisely. They've been preparing other things to be ready for when the migration to immutable actually happens, it's actually in effect, that there are no more delays, no more hangups. They got as much work out of the way as possible in the meantime. Now this is speculation, but educated speculation, that very soon after we make the migration, we will see exchanges just like that. And we'll be on the Coinbases, the Binances, the KuCoins of the world. Maybe not those exactly, but we will be getting onto exchanges, and it's gonna be a lot easier when we're on Ethereum. They have made that very clear. So even though we've seen a decent increase in price over the last week or two, I still think that this is nothing compared to where the Omi token is going and all the potential that it has. So if you guys are curious what I thought would be the next thing to take off, or what I thought was undervalued, here you go. It is the Omi token, in my opinion, one of the best investments of 2022, maybe even of a lifetime. And that sounds dramatic, but I promise you it is not dramatic. If you've been watching these videos, if you've been a part of the Veve community, I'm sure you agree with me. And the prices that we've seen in the market just really prove my point. If you want to see more info about the Omi token and things I talked about in this video, check this video out right here. And with that being said, I'll leave it at that. This has been NFT Flenny. I'll catch you guys next time.